Hello, hello. It is time to start our portrait unit, and we are going to be learning how to mix different paint colors to create all the beautiful skin shades so that you can find one that matches your own tone. So nobody's skin is pure white or pure brown or pure black. They're all like variations of colors. So you're gonna need a paper, and I'm keeping the paper here so you can pause it for a second when you have time, and you're gonna do a plus 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 equals, and go ahead and pause your video here and just set it up so it looks like this. Okay, when you come back, make sure that you have water and a paintbrush, and you can see my water is already dirty, and I'm okay with that. And then you'll be using either a paper towel, or I use a recycled towel over and over again to clean my brush off in between colors. Okay, so let's start experimenting and let's see what different shades of skin color we can come up with. So I have both black and brown on my plate, and I'm going to take some of the black and or brown. Some of you might not have brown, and in that case you can just use the black. And then I'm following the first one. So I've got the black or brown, and then I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to dip it in red. I'm going to kind of swipe it in there and clean my brush. And then I'm going to add some white. Okay, and let's kind of mix that up. And we have a darker shade of brown, and we're gonna put that on the top. So we had black or brown plus a little red and a little white, and then we got this shade. Okay, let's experiment with the next set. Cleaning out my brush, drying it off, and now I'm going to mix kind of a lot of white, just a little bit of red, and some of the brown. And I'm going to stir it up, mix it up, and then I've created my second shade. So I'll go ahead and paint that below. Do either one of those look like your skin shade? It definitely doesn't look like mine yet, but I think it's fun to see what kind of colors you can get, shades you can get. All right, let's move on to the third one. Now we're going to do a lot of yellow, a little red, I'm going to rinse my brush out, and then I'm going to put some brown in. Now, if yours does not look exactly like mine, that's totally okay. We're experimenting here. So, just, you know, if you want it to look a little bit more yellow, then add a little more yellow. If you want a little more red undertone, then add a little more red. Okay, I got a nice kind of caramel color for that one. And I'm just going to put it in that spot. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next one. If I'm working too fast for you and you would like to slow way down, then please feel free to pause in between, and when you're ready to pick it back up, you can just hit the play button. Okay, so now we're doing the fourth one, and we've got some red. We're gonna do a lot of white on this one. and then just a tiny bit of the brown. Okay, and let's see what we get here. And I'm going to add, I think, a tiny bit more white, because this one is looking a lot like number 2. There we go, we got a little different shade there. All right, and that would be 4. Okay, and now we're moving on to 5. 5 is, I'm kind of running out of room, so I'm going to turn my palette over. Now we're going to have a lot of yellow, a lot of white, and just a little brown, or black if you don't have the brown. And I'm going to mix it up. Okay, now mine looks very yellow, like very, very yellow. So I'm going to add more white to the edge and a little more brown. Let's see if I can get something that looks a little bit more like a skin shade. There we go. Good, okay. Now we've got number 5. All right, we've got 2 more to go. And I'm loving all these various skin tone colors. It's amazing what you can do with just 2 or 3 colors, isn't it? All right, this time I'm gonna do a lot of brown. I'm gonna do some white, and then just a little yellow. And I'm gonna mix that up. There we go. And now we've got 1 more. Gonna do some red. A lot of white. I'm actually out of white, so I'm gonna pour a little bit directly from my paint. Some brown, and then this one actually asks for a 4th color. It's asking for yellow as well. I'm just gonna swipe that on there. So now I'm gonna add some yellow, and I'm gonna mix all of them together. And there we go. Now I'm gonna look at all of these skin shades, and I'm going to tell you right now that you're gonna choose for your project either a self-portrait, or you may do any portrait of anyone that you would like. So if I was doing a self-portrait, I would hold my arm up to my skin palette, and I would try to match it. And I'm gonna say that it's probably the closest to the one here on the bottom, except I'm a little paler. So I'm gonna go in with some white and mix it up. Now when I put that on my palette there, yeah, that's looking a lot more like my skin tone. Now if I was choosing someone else, I would need to get a picture of them and decide which skin tone matches them more closely. Once I've decided that, I'm going to set my palette aside that I've created, and I'm going to get out just a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to use my watercolor paper, and in the middle I'm going to start painting, and I'm going to paint this whole piece of paper. And I'm going to keep going until I've got it all covered. Okay, what if I run out? Which is what is happening to me. Ask yourself, what am I going to do? I'm going to make more. So I'm going to go back to my chart, and I'm going to see that I need red, white, brown, and yellow. So I'm going to remake it. So I need more white. I'm going to do my red. I'm going to do some brown. And then some yellow. And I'm going to play with this until I get pretty close to my original shade. And if it's not exactly the same, that's okay. I'm not gonna stress too hard about it. I do know that I could add a little more white, so I'm gonna add a little more white to get it just a little bit closer. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with how close it is. So I'm just going to use that paint to finish covering my page. I can't wait to share with you what we're going to be doing with these papers for our portrait project, but I'm just going to tell you right now it's going to be fun. Okay, so almost there. And as I'm finishing it up, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm going to finish painting it, and you're going to set this aside to dry, and then you're going to wait for the next set of instructions. Make sure you hold on to this paper. Don't get rid of it. All right, have fun. Bye.